Ah, the wondrous miracle of life. Unless you're an octopus. In that case, congratulations. You've just been born into what can only be described as the Hunger Games, but with more tentacles and fewer sponsors. Your story begins inside an egg sac, dangling precariously in the ocean like a snack dispenser for every passing predator. Your mother, bless her eight-armed soul, has done her best to guard you by starving herself into oblivion. Yes, she's been on a no food, no sleep regimen just to make sure you're born, only to promptly kick the bucket right after. No pressure. And here you are, all yay big, about the size of a grain of rice. Not exactly the stuff of legends. No claws, no teeth, not even a shell to cower in. Just a squishy, blob-like body and a set of spaghetti arms that haven't quite figured out how to coordinate yet. Good luck with that. The ocean, by the way, is not the safest nursery. It's more like a theme park, where every ride ends with you being eaten. Predators are everywhere. Fish, crabs, other octopuses. Yes, your own relatives would love to snack on you if given the chance. You're not just at the bottom of the food chain. You are the food chain. But wait, it gets better. Not only are you defenseless, but you're also completely alone. That's right. No siblings to team up with, no protective mom to guide you. She's off in the great coral reef in the sky, leaving you to figure out how to not die all by yourself. Isn't independence just grand? Oh, and about that seaweed you're hiding in, it's not exactly reliable. One strong current, and there you go, swept out into the great, terrifying abyss. Now you're basically a glowing eat me sign, drifting helplessly in open water. Don't worry, though, you'll eventually get the hang of camouflaging yourself, probably after half your cousins have already been digested. Let's not forget the cherry on this soggy sundae. Your lifespan. Even if you do somehow avoid becoming someone's lunch, you're not exactly looking at a long retirement. The average octopus barely makes it past 3 years. 3. You'll spend most of that just figuring out how to not swim into your own ink cloud. So, welcome to the world, little octopus. It's wet, wild, and almost entirely stacked against you. But hey, if you do survive, you might get to be the most brilliant cephalopod in the sea. That is, until a bigger fish comes along and ruins everything. Ah, the joys of growing up. You'd think it gets easier, right? Wrong. Welcome to stage 2 of your miserable little life, the awkward adolescent phase. Because being born as a squishy sea snack wasn't hard enough, now you're a slightly bigger squishy sea snack. Progress? Debatable. Let's start with your charming new ability, camouflage. It's not instant, of course. First, you'll awkwardly flash the wrong colors at the wrong time, like nature's most confused disco ball, trying to blend into a coral reef. Here, let me turn bright red instead. Hiding on the sandy ocean floor? Let's add some bold stripes for flair. Subtlety. Who needs it? Speaking of predators, they're still very interested in you. Sharks, eels, seabirds. Basically anything with teeth and bad intentions. And here's the kicker. Your genius survival instinct is to squirt ink and hope for the best. It's like throwing glitter at a mugger and praying they're distracted. And then there's your escape plan. Tentacles flailing, you jet away at speeds that scream, "I'm panicking!" Sure, you're technically fast, but let's be real. Half the time you end up swimming face first into a rock. Evolution, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, and let's not forget your social life. Spoiler. You don't have one. Unlike dolphins or whales, who have fun little friend groups, you're a loner. No buddies to share your woes or help fend off that hungry barracuda. Just you, your tentacles, and a constant sense of impending doom. But hey, at least you're growing, right? Except now you've got new problems. Your body is basically a stretchy bag of water, and every predator within a mile can spot your gangly, ever-expanding silhouette. You're not even an intimidating bag of water, just a slightly bigger, floppier target. Let's talk about your diet. You're a predator too, sure, but your meals aren't exactly gourmet. Crabs, clams, and shrimp, if you can catch them, that is. And catching them involves sneaking up like the clumsiest ninja and wrestling them into submission with your sticky arms. Sounds fun, right? It's not. And then There's the awkward moment when you finally catch something, only to lose it to a bigger predator. Imagine spending 20 minutes breaking into a crab's shell, only to have it snatched away by a grouper. It's like spending hours cooking a meal, only for someone to swipe it off your plate. Tragic. Now let's address your intelligence. Yes, you're clever, one of the smartest creatures in the ocean, they say. But how are you using that genius brain of yours? Solving puzzles in captivity? Cool. Out in the wild? Mostly just figuring out how not to die. It's survival meets an escape room, and the stakes are your life. And don't even get me started on your home. Unlike fish, you don't have a nice school to stick with or a cozy coral crevice to call your own. You're a nomad, lugging your soft, squishy self from one hiding spot to another. Found a great den? Don't get too comfortable. It'll probably get invaded by something with claws or fins before long. As if that's not bad enough, you've got a shelf life. Your whole existence is like a countdown clock, ticking toward an anticlimactic ending. You're lucky to make it past a year or two. And if you do survive, you'll spend your twilight months laying eggs and slowly wasting away like the world's saddest reality show contestant. In summary, life as an octopus is a never-ending obstacle course of predators, bad luck, and questionable survival tactics. Sure, you're smart, but intelligence only gets you so far when everything around you wants to eat you. So, next time you're feeling down about your own life, just remember, at least you're not a floppy, snack-sized ocean ninja who has to outsmart sharks and open jars just to survive. Could it be worse? Definitely. But for this little guy, it's pretty darn close. Finally, adulthood, the phase where you finally think, I've made it. Spoiler alert, you haven't. Sure, you're bigger now and your tentacles are slightly more coordinated. You've graduated from tiny snack to medium-sized snack. Progress. But don't get too excited. This is the ocean, where size just means you're a more filling meal. Let's start with the perks of adulthood. You've got better camouflage skills, which means you can finally blend into your surroundings without looking like a bad art project. You've also mastered the art of escape, jetting away with just the right amount of ink to confuse predators. Look at you, all grown up and capable. But don't get cocky. Remember, there's always something bigger and meaner out there. Speaking of bigger and meaner, adulthood is where the stakes get even higher. Sharks, groupers, eels, they're all still hunting you. But now they're joined by an even craftier predator, humans. That's right, the species that brought you plastic waste and fishing nets. If you're not dodging a spear, you're accidentally wrapping yourself in someone's discarded six-pack ring. Fun times. And let's not forget your love life, or as I like to call it, the most stressful Tinder match ever. For starters, finding a mate isn't exactly romantic. It's more of a rushed transaction because, spoiler, one of you is probably going to die shortly after. That's right. Octopus romance is basically nature's version of the last date. And ladies, your life gets even harder. After mating, you've got one job. Lay thousands of eggs and guard them with your life. Literally. You stop eating, waste away, and eventually die, leaving your adorable offspring to repeat the cycle of misery. Sounds like a dream, doesn't it? If you're lucky enough to avoid romance and survive a few more months, you might even get to enjoy some of life's simpler pleasures, like hunting crabs or hiding from curious scuba divers. But let's face it, your life is basically a never-ending survival marathon with no finish line. And just when you think you've seen it all, there's always a new challenge waiting. A fishing net here, a hungry sea lion there. It's like a game of what fresh hell awaits every single day. So here you are, a full-grown octopus, smarter and sneakier than ever, but still living life on the edge. Sure, you've learned a lot. You've survived predators, mastered camouflage, and figured out how to open jars. But in the grand scheme of things, you're still just one wrong move away from becoming someone's dinner. And that's the life of an octopus, a brilliant, squishy underdog in a world that's constantly trying to eat it. Inspiring? Maybe. Exhausting? Definitely. So next time you're feeling down about your responsibilities, just remember, at least you're not an octopus. Because no matter how hard your day is, It's probably easier than outsmarting sharks, dodging fishing nets, and raising thousands of ungrateful kids, all while being a sentient noodle.